The objective of this lesson is to have students solve two-step word problems using bar models. In previous lessons, students have been working with bar models for one-step problems. Let's try using a bar model with two-step problems. Here's the problem. Mr. Dennis purchased 68 pencils and 75 erasers for his class, but later he returned 53 items to the store. How many pencils and erasers does he still have? What information do we know? We know Mr. Dennis had 68 pencils and 75 erasers, but we don't know how many items altogether. So let's put a question in our whole box, and we'll fill in our 68 pencils and the 75 erasers. So 68 plus 75 equals 143 pencils and erasers. What is the second step? Mr. Dennis returned 53 items. Using the information from step 1 in the whole box, we'll put our total of 143 items. We now have to take away 53. Let's draw an arrow to remind us that we are removing 53 of those items. How would you write this equation? 143 minus 53 equals the number of items Mr. Dennis still has. And doing the math, I get 90. So Mr. Dennis is left with 90 pencils and erasers. Let's try another problem. 376 men and 414 women attended a football game. There were 246 fewer kids than adults. How many kids were at the football game? What information do we know? We know there are 376 men and 414 women, but we don't know the total of adults. So let's put a question in the whole box for the total, and we'll fill in 376 men and the 414 women. Write an equation to solve. My equation would be 376 plus 414 gives me 790 adults. What is the second step? The question stated there were 246 fewer kids than adults. Using what we know from our first step, let's put the total number of adults in our whole box. Since there were 246 fewer kids than adults, let's write 246 in one of our part boxes with an arrow to show that we are taking away 246 from the total. How would you write this as an equation? 790 adults minus the 246 kids equals, if I do some quick math, I'm going to say 700 minus 200 equals 500, and 90 minus 46 equals 44. So the total number of adults will be 500 plus 44, or 544. Let's try one more. 60 cars were parked in the parking lot next to the soccer field. After the first hour, 15 cars leave. After the second hour, 12 more cars arrive and park in the lot. How many cars are parked in the parking lot after the second hour? What information do we know? We know there were 60 cars in the lot. So let's put 60 in our whole box. We also know that after the first hour, 15 cars left. So let's write 15 in a part box with an arrow to show that 15 is being removed from 60. What is our equation? 60 minus 15 equals what? 45 cars. What is the second step? After the second hour, 12 more cars arrive. We'll take the information from the first step and put 45 cars in a part box and add an arrow to show that 12 cars are being added after the second hour. We'll put a question mark in the whole box for the total number of cars after the second hour. What is our equation? I'll take 45 and add it to 12, which will be my total number of cars after the second hour. And that looks like that's going to be 57. So there'll be 57 cars after the second hour at the parking lot. Using a bar model to represent two-step problems can be done in a variety of ways. The students should use a method that works best for them. In this lesson, students learn to use bar models to solve two-step word problems.